Hello everyone, my name is Jason and this video is for the CS 111 Web 2.0 class. This is going to be a tutorial on how to do a quick and dirty fire effect with Photoshop. This tutorial is based on a more complex way of making this effect, which I have linked to the top of the screen. I'll be using Photoshop version CS5 on the Windows 7 operating system, and because I'm sort of pressed for time, I'm going to assume that you are somewhat familiar with the program. So here we go. First thing we're going to do is make a brush preset out of the subject of our image. I've got a picture of a horse here on my desktop. I'm going to open that in Photoshop. Okay, we've got our horse here. Now what we need to do is go to our left toolbar and use the rectangular marquee tool and put a selection box around the subject. Now you're going to want to make sure that either the background around the subject is white or that there is no background at all. Otherwise you're going to get an undesired effect when you make the brush. Okay, so go ahead and go up to the edit on the top toolbar and select Define Brush Preset. This is going to open a pop-up window that will allow you to name the brush. I'm just going to name it Horse and left click on OK. So we're done with this file already. We can go ahead and close that. We're going to open a new file. Personally, I like to use the US paper preset. Gives you a big space to work with and kind of gives you that nostalgic feeling of drawing on a piece of paper. At this point, we need to change the background to black. You can either use the paint bucket tool or you can just press Control and the I key. That will switch the color to black. Now we need a new layer, so we'll go to this toolbar under the layer display and select new layer. Now we're going to go over to the paintbrush tool on the left side. Right click on the canvas here and you'll see that our horse is the last paintbrush tool available. Go ahead and left click on that. And then you're going to want to size it so that it's a desirable size on the page. I'm going to go a little bit bigger here, probably maximum. Okay, just left click on the screen and you've got your horse pasted right there. Alright, next thing we need to do is get a glow effect going on with the horse to make it look sort of fiery. Go back to this toolbar below the layer display and hit the FX button. We're going to start with Inner Glow. We're going to go through this a little bit quick here. Start with the blend mode and hit Hard Light. Move your opacity up to 100%. Do the color selection box. You're going to want to move your spectrum down to almost red and hit the shade box over here to the upper right corner. Click OK here, and then we're going to move to Outer Glow. Same thing here, kind of. We're going to hard light it on the blend mode. Opacity up to 100%. This time we're going to go all the way red on the color selection. And we're going to fudge with the size pixels here so that you get a desired glow effect. Just kind of go back and forth till you get something that you like. Okay, once you're done with that, click OK. Now we're going to get some contrast going here. Move your mouse cursor over to the icon of the layer that we're working with. Hold the Control key and left click on it. It's going to select some of the highlights in the subject that we're working with. And we're going to move down to this toolbar again and select Add Layer Mask. Alright, it's looking pretty good so far. Now we're going to expand on this glowy effect. Move your cursor over to the layer that we're working with here. Right click on it and select Duplicate Layer. It's going to ask you if you want to name it. I usually just skip this and hit OK. Alright, it's a little bit more glowy, more bright looking. Now we're going to add the last effect to make it have a real fiery look. We're going to need to pull up an image file of real fire. So you can either find it on Google or whatever photo program you like to use. I've got one on my desktop, but we're going to use the place option here. As you can see, here's my fire picture. Okay, we're going to need to adjust the size of this so that it completely will fill over our horse. So when you're doing this, you're going to click on this transformation corner, hold shift, and resize it. That'll keep the aspect ratio of the original picture the same. Once you've got desired position and everything, click on the check mark up here, and your picture is completely ruined. No, I'm just kidding. We got one more step here. Over here, back in the layer display window, you're going to hold Alt between the fire layer and the layer below it, and just give it a left click. And there you have it. The horse looks pretty cool. So that is pretty much the end of my tutorial. And now for your viewing pleasure, a large explosion.